Okay, so the first question of the 2017 paper is like convert the binary number of this thing to octal, show steps in your calculation. So when you are doing something like this, you need to be very careful about your steps, right? So you better show how you are going to do the octal conversion of this hexadecimal. So you can go into it like this. So the carefully write down what are the things that you need to like work with, right? So we have 1 1 0 and another 3 ones and then 2 zeros and 2 ones and 2 zeros, right? Let me double check. 1 1 0 1 1 1 0 0 1 1 0 0. Yes. So to convert this into the octal, we need to divide this into three portions, or like the groups that contains only 3 bits. So each and every bit contains the values 1, 2, and 4. Right? So it's 1, 2, and 4. And this is also 1, 2, and 4 that we are having. Right? So when you are going to see what's the representation of this particular binary number, it's going to be, we are going to add this 4 plus this 2. Right? Because they got ones at the top, zeros will be disregarded. Since this is all ones, we are going to add 4 plus 2 plus 1. So this gives you 6, this gives you 7. And here it's only 1 that we are going to have, so it's just 1. Here only 4, so this is just 4. So this is the value that we are going to have as the final answer, right? So let's see how many marks that they have given for this. Let's So this is the marking scheme. Yeah, people, sorry with the screen like some flies are going around here, so I can't control the smart board. They are just touching, and like, there you go again. Okay, we'll see how to overcome this thing. Okay. So when it comes to the marking scheme, it shows you this particular calculation, right? So if you have taken the correct answer, they ask you to give 1 mark, right? So as it shows, look at this. They said there are 2 methods that they are introducing, right? So those 2 methods, any of the method is going to give you the marks like 0.5 for the answer and 0.5 for the steps, right? So that's how they are working with. They have clearly said this is the way that you are going to mark with, right? See, 0.5 the mark, 5 for the marks, 0.5 for the steps, right? So you better, right, give the workings as well as the final answer in a proper manner, right? So for the next question, the answer is going to be 752 in hexadecimal. So let's see. So they are asking convert hexadecimal number 752 to 16 to the binary. So like how we are going to do this? So like 752. This is in hexadecimal. So when we are converting this into the binary values, we are going to write each and every symbol of the hexadecimal in 4 as a 4-bit value, right? Or a 4-bit group, right? So it's going to give you something like this. Right, and each and every place is going to give you the mark. So like going to give the place values 1, 2, 4, and 8. So this goes the same way. 1, 2, 4, and 8. And this goes the same way. 1, 2, 4, and 8. Right, so 2 can be taken, 2 can be created using only 2. Right, so like 0, 0, 1, 0 will give you the value of 2. 5 can be created like 4 and a 1. So these places, they are 0. Then 7, 1, 1, and 1. Here it comes with a 0. Right? So the final answer is going to be like writing these things together. 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, and 0, 0, 1, 0. Right? So that's going to be your final answer. So if you got this correctly, you can have 2 marks. Right? So together it gives you 2 marks for the first answer. So 1 mark for the part A and 1 mark for the part B. Right? They said when you are writing the answer, you can leave out this 0 if you want. So you can write it like this, or you can write it like this. Anyway, it's going to give you 1 mark. Okay. Then the next one. So the next question says, it's about the gates question. A flashlight with motion and light sensors is located outside. It's located outside a front door of a building. The light turns on automatically when it is dark and when someone approaches the door from the outside when both conditions are satisfied. The motion sensor turns from off to on when someone comes near to the door. The light sensor is on when there is light and off when it is dark. The block diagram of this circuit figure 1 relating to this scenario is shown below. So the part A asking what are the suitable logic gates for P and Q in the above circuit. So when you are figuring out the ones and like the gates for this particular circuit, it's better you figure out what kind of a equation or expression that this circuit is related with, right? So let's first figure out what kind of a relationship that is being here. So it says it's like this. The relationship describes a flashlight with motion and light sensor is located outside. The light turns on. So this is the place where you have to tackle. Lights turns on automatically when it is dark and when someone approaches the door from outside, right? So light turns on means this is the output that we are talking about, right? It's controlled by the motion sensor and the light sensor. So if you think about, if you take motion sensor as M and the light sensor as L, right? Motion sensor as M, light sensor as L. So it says motion sensor went from off to on when someone comes near the door. So when someone comes near the door, it turns from off to on. That means motion sensor is on when someone approaches the door, right? So that means, so this off states indicate by M bar, on state indicate by M. That's the normal way it works, right? And when we take the light as the L as the light sensor, this one indicates L, the 0 indicates L bar, right? So according to the explanation, dark indicates, it says when there is light, and off when it is dark. It says off indicates a dark. That means this indicates L bar. And when someone approaches the door, means it's going to be on. The motion sensor is going to on. That means it indicates M. And since these two must be satisfied together, the relationship that they are like sharing is, we can say like flashlight is on, that's the output, is on when L bar and M happens, right? So if you take the flashlight as the final output, that means F is going to equals L bar and M. That gives you L bar dot M. So you have to, that is the output of this, the flashlight. So if we need to create L bar, light sensor will input L and motion sensor will input M. So L bar can be created if you set a NOT gate in front of here, and L bar dot M will be created if you can take AND gate over here. So P is going to be a NOT gate, Q is going to be and AND gate. Are we clear about this, people? Okay, right. Then, so if you got that, you are going to have 1 mark for that particular thing. Right. So the second part indicates like this. The above circuit is modified by adding an OR gate and a switch on in one state or in zero state, as shown below in figure 2. Right. So it is asking, identify which of the two in the following statement are correct regarding the modified circuit given in figure 2. Like if you think about the modified circuit, they're asking to figure out what are the true statements out of these 3 statements. It says when switch is on, the flashlight will always be on. Yeah, how we can argue that? How we are going to argue it? Now look at this. Like it says when switch is on, when the switch is on, the flashlight will always be on. So switch is on means you are going to receive 1 from this line. So this is an OR gate. So we know in OR gate, if the A and B is going to be the inputs, our output is going to be always 1 when either of the inputs are going to be 1. So the output of the OR gate are going to be like this. Right? Because each and every row has at least 1 in here. Right? So that means if you are receiving 1 from here, it doesn't matter what you are going to receive from here. It doesn't matter it is a 1 or a 0. It always provide you 1. That means flashlight is on. So the first statement is correct. And second says when switch is off, this circuit behaves as the circuit in the above, in the figure 1. Right? So switch is off means you are receiving 0 over here. You are receiving 0 at this point. So that means if you are receiving 1 from here, this is going to become 1 as well. The output is going to become 1 as well. Right? If you are going to receive a 0, we are going to receive a 0, we are receiving 1, it's going to be 1. If you are going to receive a 0, the output is going to be a 0. Right? That means according to the output of this line, now we know this has a NOT gate, this has an AND gate. So according to the output of the AND gate, the output will be controlled, right? So this is what we had earlier, right? This is a circuit what we had earlier. So its output is identical as this output, right? So the second one, when the switch is off, the circuit behaves as the circuit in figure 1. That is correct. right? And the third one says the behavior of two circuits are identical. No, that's different. When the switch is on, it is always on. It doesn't matter what kind of input that is going to receive by the other two sensors. So it's not identical, people. Okay, people, are you clear with this? Right. Okay. Okay, there's a small insect that I couldn't capture over here. He's like bothering me a big time. Okay. So if you got both the things correct, then you are going to have 2 marks for that part as well. Right. So this is how the marking scheme stays. Oh, come on. So this is the way that they have given you the marks. Recognizing the P is a NOT gate and Q is an AND gate, you will be given 1 mark. And recognizing the first one and the second one as the true statements, you are awarded with another 1 mark. Right? So, like together, 2 marks for that. Yeah, in the third question, they ask, assume that 4 bits per pixel are used to represent a color. In a color representation system, right? How many different colors can the system can represent? So if you are going to use 4 bits in a pixel, so the number of colors can be calculated by taking those number of bits as a 2 to the power. So once it's taken as a 2 to the power, so it comes as 16, as it shows over here. So 16 is the answer. Either you can write it like this, or you can just write the answer 16. Any of the methods are going to give you the marks. Yeah, people give me a second, I will be right back. Okay, so the answer for writing as 16 or showing like 2 to the power 4 equals 16, you are given the marks as 2. The fourth question, yeah, that's it, it's like this. Now they said there's a particular pixel and it has the ability of showing 4 colors, 4 bits inside it, right? So let's take it like this. One pixel has the ability of showing 4 colors. So that means, I'm sorry, one particular pixel consists of 4 bits, right? Let's say these are 4 bits. So they are asking how many colors that it can show. So colors can be taken as 2 to the power of number of bits in a pixel, right? So number of bits in a pixel, here it says 4 bits. So the answer is going to be 2 to the power 4, which is equals to 16. Is that clear? That's it. Right, okay. Right, moving forward, the fourth one. So in the fourth one, it said Sama goes to the bookshop to buy 3 exercise books and 2 pens. After finding the items, she takes them to the counter where the sales assistant scans the barcode stickers attached to each item into the information system in the shop. Quantities of each item are also entered into the system. The system calculates the cost for each item and the total cost of all the items. Then the system prints the bill for the transaction. Right? So they are asking, write one example for inputs, process, and output of the information system. Right? So if we are going to have that, so what we can do is, I'm going to underline the inputs in red. Look at this. So the one of the inputs are going to be the sales assistant scan the barcode stickers. So barcode is going to be an input. Right? So the barcode is going to be an input. Each item into the information system of the shop, and quantities of each item are also entered in the system. So quantities of each item are going to be another input. The system calculates cost for each item and the total cost of all the items. So those are the process. Calculate the cost of each item and calculating the total cost of all the items. Those are the process. Then the system prints the bill for the transaction. So like it says the bill is going to be the output, right? So those are the things that you need, like you have to recognize one of those, like for each and every category, one input, one process, and one output, right? So the marks are given in this manner. Here they have said the inputs, barcode, quantity, even they they were expecting accepting the third 3 and 2 as the inputs as well, because there are 3 books and 2 pencils kind of things, right? So 3 and 2 can also be represented as an input. And the process is like interpreting, converting, using a barcode, or reading or scanning the barcode, not the scanning. The process is like use of barcode. But the best way is like interpreting the barcode, calculate cost of items, and calculate total cost of all items, and the output is going to be bill. So for each and every category, only one answer is needed. So 0.54 inputs, 1 mark for the process and 0.54 output. That's how they have given you 2 marks. Right. So see how much you got out of it. Then comes the 5th question. So they are like asking 2 questions. Like which port can be used to access internet using a network UTP cable. So it's going to be the RJ45 one, which is E. What port can be used to connect a digital camera to the copy photos into the hard disk or into the computer? So it's going to be the USB, which is D. Right? So for providing E, I, T, and D, you are given 2 marks. Right? So that's how the question number 5th part has went. The 6th. Yes, they have given you a particular before formatting and after formatting situations, and they are asking what are the values or what are the tools that you can use for the 1, 2, 3, and 4 formattings. So, like in 1, it's they have changed the font type and they have center align it, and the 3rd one they underline it, the 4th one they use subscript. All right, so if you are considering the answers, it's going to be like this. So when you are providing the answer, like if you given A as the answer for the first one, then the second one must have L as the answer. So if you go the other way around, L for 1 and A for 2. So 3 it's going to be E and 4 it's going to be F, which match the particular tools, right? So A is the to change the font type. L is to make the center align. E is to do underline, and F will do superscript. No, I'm sorry, subscript. Right? Marks are given as 0.5 marks for one particular one. So like 2 marks altogether. Now, Sasrika, you can't use both 1 and 2 as A Buddha because it is asking like it needs 2 particular things. No? So like you should say what is for 1 and what is for 2. They have said here 1 and 2 separately. See, the question says 1 and 2 separately. So you have to provide 1 and 2 separately. If you have given like both the answers in 1, you will be taking only 1. So in the note that they said for both 1 and 2, the same label is not accepted as the correct answer. Right? Be careful. Be careful. In the 7th one, they are asking whether these statements are true or false. So like internet protocol address is used to uniquely identify a computer on the internet. Yes, that is true. File transfer protocol is used to transfer files between remote computers. That is true again. Hypertext transfer protocol is used to exchange HTML documents. True again. Files and folders in a cloud computing environment can be accessed without an internet connection. No, that's false. You must have an internet connection to access a particular some particular cloud computing, right? If you are going to do a cloud computing, you must have an internet connection. That's a must. Right. Then the eighth one. So in here, 0.5 marks for the correct answer. You can use true or T or false or F. Right? Then in the eighth one, some icons used to graphic design software are labeled as A to D. So they are just asking you to find out what are the names from the list that they have provided. So the first one, it is called magic wand or the fuzzy tool. Second one, the B is called the lasso tool, right? So magic wand will what? It will select the same color areas in a picture. The lasso tool, it helps you to select any particular portion of the picture as you want. And C is going to give you a move. You can just click on a particular image or a component and just move it. And then the last one is a clone stamp, right? So if you have a particular face on one particular place of the picture, you can take the same face by using the clone tool, right? So yeah, 0.5 marks for each part, so it gives you 2 marks. Okay, people, is it clear up to this point? Okay. Right. Screen is not working again. People, hold on a minute. I have to clean the board. Yeah, Sastrika, it's like this, Puta. Like in the list, they have given the word clone stamp tool. So you better go with what they have given, right? Maybe it is a little bit different from the tool that you have learned, but even though at some case if they provide something like this, it's better you go with the particular word that they have given. Okay. Right. Okay, in the ninth one, it says the following diagram shows the, some particular interaction between user and computer. Identify the terms that they have given over here. So you can remember the particular relationship in between the user operating system and the hardware and the software. So it is easy for you to fill up. Right. So, yeah, sorry for the interruption, people. So, if you know the behavior of the operating system, user, hardware, and the application software. So, application software is the most closest component to the user. So, A goes with the application software. And since B is interacting with everyone, it interacts with A, it interacts with C, as well as it interacts with user. So B is going to become the operating system. And C, it is the one which interacts with the hardware, right? So the operating system will interact with the component hardware, right? So C is going to become hardware, right? Right. So if you got all three correct, it's going to give you 2 marks. If you got only 1 or 2 correct, it's going to give you 1 mark. Right? Are we clear about this, people? All right. Moving to the 10th question. The 10th question is about the hand tracing and like filling out a particular array. So let me do it using the whiteboard. So you will be getting a much clearer idea about that. Right. So it says assume that a dice was thrown 10 times and the 10 values obtained are stored in an array named A. The following algorithm with missing terms P, Q, and R is used to calculate how many times number 5 was obtained. So you need to understand how many times that the number 5 has obtained. right? So the output should be the number of times that you are going to see the count, or like going to see the number 5. So that means you have to count the times that you can see number 5. Right, so they starting saying count equals 0 and I equals 0 as well. And they are comparing something over here with I, right? And in here, they are asking something called AQ equals 5. So then they say count equals 1 and R is over here, right? So since we need to, what do you call, like increase or like count the number of fives, right, in the through the algorithm, this kind of a equation can be goes as like this: count equals count plus 1, right? So R is count definitely, right? And since you are like comparing the components of the array, so we have to start comparing the components of the array from the 0th index. We should compare the 0th index with 5. We have to compare then first index with 5, then second index with 5, then the third one, then the fourth one, likewise. That means Q should be something that increases, like starting from 0 and increase as 1, 2, 3, 4, likewise. Right, so there are two things that start from 0 in the algorithm, which is count and I. So we have figured out that the count is used for R. So then Q, it must be I. Right? Okay, then we have to figure out what's going to be for P. Right? So how many items are here in the array? There are 10 items, right? So like we have to check the I until it is checking the 9th item. That means I will be starting from 0 and will be increased until 9. Right? So in that case, we want to figure out what's the 9 is using. We have to figure out how the I is going to change. So like I comes up to 9. So when the value of I is 9, still it's need to compare that particular 9 element. And if it is a 5, you have to add it to the count, or else you have to increase it. So then I is going to increase by 1 after that. Here, when you have 9, it will compare the 9th element of the A. If it is not 5, it's not going to enter into the added into the count. Then it's end ifs. Then I will become 10. Right? So then when you check whether 10 less than, for the value that is going to be P, it should be a false value. Right? Otherwise, it will continue again. Right? So if it need to be false, what's going on here? Yeah. I can't recognize this small insect, people. He's like giving me a hard time. Okay, so like if the I is going to become 10, oh, seriously, why it is happening? Okay, sorry for the technical problems and the insects, people. So if the I is going to, if the condition needs to be false, then once the I become 10, the value which is on this side needs to be something which gives this condition is false. So if you got 10 over here, that means 10 less than 10 is going to give you a false answer, right? You can have it this P as 9 because then it will stop by taking the A9 into consideration. So it must be 10. P must be 10. So then only you will be able to like go all these 9 indexes, then comes to an answer. Right, so due to that, the answers are going to be P, that is 10, Q, that is I, R, that is count. So 2 marks will be given in this manner. Okay, so that's the last question of the first question. So please see how much you got out of 20. Please calculate and see, people, because it is a very critical amount of marks because it gives you 20 marks from the paper. Yes, 20 out of 20s. Very good, Tilini. This is Tilini or like Udamya. I don't know. Tilini, right? Or is it Udamya? Yeah, Chanuri, are you asking about the last question? Okay, Chanuri, I just finished explaining that. Weren't you were there? Or like, did you get what I was saying? Pasrika, that's a good mark. That's it. That's a good mark. Dinalka, that's a good mark. Yeah, Chanuri, are you asking me to like re-explain that, or weren't you there when I'm explaining it, Buddha? Okay, re-explain. All right. Okay, Chanore, it goes like this. Now, I'll go with the one over here. Right, let me clean this. Yeah. So it goes like this, Dua. Now, really sorry with the problem goes with the smart board. Don't know why it goes like this. Yes. Yeah. So what they are saying is, Chandri, this is the array that they have created by rolling a dice or like throwing a dice for 10 times. So these are the values that the dice has given, right? So for 10 times. And they have inserted it into an array. So array is having the value starting from a 0. Right? So it continues up to 9. So what they are trying to do is they are trying to figure out how many times of 5 are going to be here. Right? Right, Chalvi, are you clear with that? The requirement of the question? Okay. Right. So then what we are going to do is, what they are trying to do is, they are going to explain an algorithm to take number of files inside this array, which is A. Right. So to do that, they have taken a counter and a variable called I. So since they are displaying the count at the end, which needs to be displayed, the number of fives, right? So count need to be increased whenever they found a 5 inside the array. So what they are doing here is like they are checking the elements of the array like one after the other. Like first they check the 0 index, then they check the first index, then they check the second index, right? So likewise, they are going to check each and every item of the array, right? My little one is with me, people, so please tolerate. And what they are doing here is like when they say A and a square bracket, they are referring to the array A, and within the square bracket, if you got 1, that means the array A's first element. First element means the index 1 element. If they say 0, array A's 0th index. Right? So what we have to do is we can check all these values with the help of their indexes and check what are the places that we find 5. Right? Chanuri, is that clear? Okay. Then that means this Q is going to change from 0 to 9 because the Q helps you to figure out whether a particular element is equal to 5 or not. So then Q goes from 0 to 9. So, and it's going to increase one by one, starting from 0. Right? So, and again, since we are displaying the count, Q cannot be count, because count executes when it is equal to 5. Right? So the R is going to be count, because that's the way that we are going to write an equation, like count equals count plus 1. So what you can find on the left hand side must be there over here. Generally, there are places where it can change. Right? So the R is going to become count and Q is going to become I because of that. Is it clear, Chanuri? No, does it? Like per iteration, I increase by 1, does it? So first it's explain, first it check the zeroth position, then I becomes 1 because I was increasing by 1. Are you getting it, does it? Does it? Is that clear? Because I increases by 1 over here. So first the Q is 0, then at the next iteration it is 1, and then the next iteration is going to be 2. Likewise. Right? So then the P, the questions with the P. Now P needs to control, P is the one which controls the while. And we know that I is increasing from 0 to 9. And until that, the iteration must happen. It should not end. Right? So once the I reaches 9, when I is 9, let's assume this I is 9, then only the AQ is checking A9, which supposed to check. Right? A9 में check करना ඕනේ. Right? Then since A9 is not a 5, you are not going to count it. So that means its end is, and I will be increased by 1. That means that this 9 will become 10 over here. Chanuri, is that clear? So that means when the I becomes 10, you have to stop the repetition, because now you are done. Last item of the array is checked. Right? So because of that, so if the condition needs to be false, once I less than P that they are saying. So I becomes 10. If this needs to be false, then P must be a 10 as well. Kanuri, are you getting that? Right. Okay, so that's how we have taken it for those answers, right? So that's the way it goes. P is 10, Q is I, and R is count. Okay, so yes, I thought some of your marks, the final marks, right? Which seems to be very nice. Yeah, how about others? Right, Udamya got 20 out of 20. Sastrika got 19, Dasit got 18.5. Dineka got 19, Osanda 17.5, Pehara 17.5. That's great. 116, still good, still good. If you pass the mark 15, that means you are doing good, right? So always try to go for the 20, but if you are above 20, that's great. Okay, anyone who has tried the second question? Who has tried the second question? All right, so let's go with the second one. So in the second one, they asked about some things from the last lesson. Let's say the following statements from 1 to 4 regarding the ICT related security issues. Identify the matching terms from the list given below for each of the statement 1 to 4. Write down the statement number and the relevant term from the list. Right? They say a malware program that replicates itself to spread to the other computers. So we can say it has computer worms, right? So this goes with the first statement. Unsolicited, that means unwanted, email received into the inbox of an email software. We call them spam. Goes with the second. Pretending to be trustworthy communication, attempting to obtain someone's username, password of a bank account. So that goes with phishing. There are several locations, but from this list, we can take it as phishing. Display unwanted promotional materials in the form of pop-ups in a web page. Those are called adwares. That's the way that these things are going to be. So these are the marks that you can take. First one, computer worm. Second one, spam. Third one, phishing. Fourth one, adware. So 4 marks. You got all 4 correct. Okay, the second part, they are asking, the diagram shows how a person works on his computer. Write 2 health-related issues that he may face due to the posture. Right, so what you can see is he has bent his back, which is not good. He will be having the back pains and muscle pains. His feet are not flat to the earth or like flat to the floor, and he doesn't maintain the 90 degrees posture of sitting, and he is too close to the monitor, and the neck is bent as well, right? So these things will give him the computer vision syndromes due to he is close to the screen, and neck pains and back pains and musculoskeletal problems due to the wrong posture, right? And yeah, even he's not sitting very well, gives the same things, right? So those can be taken as the answers. So he says musculoskeletal syndrome, back pains, leg pains, arm pains, frozen shoulders, neck pains, headaches, since he is like closer to the screen, computer vision syndrome, eye strains, and repetitive stress injuries. That happens to the incorrect posture, and carpal tunnel syndrome. I doubt whether the carpal tunnel syndrome is going to be there because his arm is resting on the table. right? I don't think carpal tunnel syndrome will be there. It's not clear. Like even in this picture, his arm is resting. So like if the arm is not resting, then only the carpal tunnel syndrome is going to be. So I don't think carpal tunnel syndrome is going to be there, right? Apart from carpal tunnel syndrome, all other answers can be taken as eligible. So and again, in the marking scheme, since we are talking about CPS, the carpal tunnel syndrome, if you wrote it, you can take the marks. So 1.5 for each and every reason, so 3 marks altogether. Right, and the third part, they are talking about, consider the following scenarios, labeled 1 to 3, and what they are asking is identify the suitable terms from the list given below for each of the above scenarios and write down the relevant term against the label 1 to 3. A person copying licensed software downloaded from internet and sell it to others. So that is what you call piracy, right? So this goes with the one. A person logging into a social media account using a stolen username and a password. So that is called, hold on. Yeah, it can be goes with the cyber crime, as it seems. A farmer in one country uses agricultural information on the web, while a farmer in another country is unable to use such information. That goes with digital divide, the ability and the inability to connect with a particular thing. So let's see whether these things are okay with the marking scheme. Yes, one goes with piracy, second goes with cybercrime, third goes with digital divide. So 3 marks if you got everything correct. And people who have done it, just see how much you got out of 10. Right, well done, people. Very well done. Okay, moving to the third question. Well done, Sasrika. What තියෙනවද? තියෙනව නේද? Right, so the third one, it explains about the HTML. So they have given a particular output in your right hand side and the coding in your left hand side. So they are asking what are the suitable tags. They have given a list as well. So to fill it out from that, right? So what it's going to be? The H2, it goes with the milk rice. So it is being center aligned. So the first one must goes with the center aligned, right? So since I'm having the list underneath, center is the first. And then they have taken the paragraph and align equal justify because both the lines are aligned, both the sides are aligned. So justify is going to be the second. And then Kiribat, this little word is italicized, so it's going to be I, which is the third. And I'm sorry, not the third. Yes, I'm sorry, I missed the, I jeopardized the numbers. Justify comes with the third, italicize comes with the fourth. But I miss is over here, so that is ing for this particular image. So this is going to be the second. Right, and fifth, new year. Yeah, this is being bolded, so we need B. The fifth. And Sixth, it should be a list. So we have unordered lists. That means UL, which is this, is going to be the sixth. And in the third list item, we have this 1/2. So the seventh is going to be the SUP superscript. And 2 is going to be the SUB subscript. So for 7 it is SUP, for 8 it is SUB. Right? Yeah, that's the way it's going to happen. No, Sasrika, you can't take 1 as B, because when you are using the header elements, by default it is being bolded. So you can't take, there is no effect by using B again, right? So you can't take first as B. It should be center aligned, because headers are not being center aligned. It will always left aligned, right? So, right. So the answers, I'm going with the marking scheme. So the, yes, where is marking? Oh, it goes like this. First one center, second one image, third one justify, fourth one I, fifth one B, sixth one UL, seventh one SUP, and eighth one SUB. So like from 1 to 6, 1 mark each, and 7 and 8, it's 0.5 each. So altogether it's 7 marks. And the next part is talking about true and false situations. Number of pixels can be reduced by removing unnecessary sections in edge of the images using crop or trim tool in graphic software. Yes, that's true. That's true. So this is true. Size of video files can be reduced by making the frame size smaller and reducing the resolution of the image in a frame. Again, true. If you are reducing the frame size, means your video is getting smaller. That means less amount of pixels are using. Reducing the resolution means, again, the number of pixels that are being used per square inch is going to get reduced. So the size will be smaller. That's true. The size of audio file can be compressed by decreasing the sampling rate. That's also a true, right? Everything is true. So you are supposed to take 3 marks for getting true for everything, right? So that gives you 10 marks for that question. To see how much you got out of 10. Right. Okay, Dinaka, that's a very good mark. Okay, Saksrika, Tehara, well done. Saksrika, that's a very good mark. That's it, well done. Right, very good. So people, we had some technical difficulties earlier. So since the time is up, I'm going to end the session from here. So by next week, we are going to discuss the rest of the questions. And if we got a chance, we are moving to the 2018 paper as well, right? Okay, Udamya. So be careful, right? So I'll see you on next week, people, for the very same time to discuss the rest of the questions, and be ready with the MCQ paper as well. If we got the chance, we will mark it, and I'll take the incorrect answers from yours, right? So please be ready with the 2018 MCQ, right? So then we can mark and correct the incorrect answers. Right, so thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you on next week for the very same time. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, have a nice weekend. That's it. You too.